Davis coming to you with another episode of Subscription Center. So this is the full moon interpretation in Sagittarius, everybody, in Gemini season. So the full moon occurs from the 15th to the 17th. You know what I'm saying? Those kind of days are a little bit give and take, you know what I'm saying, about, you know what I'm saying, which days are, you know, actually the full moon. But, you know, through the 16th, through the 17th, you know what I mean, that kind of phase. But full moons are definitely a peak, and full moons are definitely the climax in the lunar phase, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, leading up to this point, we were in the waxing phase, and we were, you know, gaining energy, and we were, you know, picking up on a lot of things, and we were, you know, really, you know, diving into the energy of the lunar cycle. So after this, we'll be in the waning phase, and we'll kind of be on a decline, and we'll be, you know, I don't want to say losing energy, but we'll definitely feel that insufficiency throughout that, you know, throughout that waning phase. So with full moons are represented by the, you know, the mental capability and the intellect we can, you know, we can demonstrate, and just the influence that we have on, you know, exteriors, you know, and other forces around us, you know what I'm saying? Because the moon pulls in on the, you know, on the water currents on our planet, and it, you know, affects our gravity. So how you can interpret that is basically, you know what I'm saying, just, you know, being maybe influenced or pushed to a very, you know, pivotal moment for you, a moment where you may make a decision for, you know, for the good or for the bad, you know what I mean, and a moment where you can be tested, and that test may, you know, result in, you know, whatever, you know, final judgment that, you know, that may be, you know, along your path. So with full moon in Sagittarius, you know what I'm saying, things are, you know, kind of inverted, because the moon is resting in, you know, Sagittarius, which is in the south cycle, I mean, the south quarter, I'm sorry, and the sun is resting in the north in Gemini, you know what I'm saying? So the moon normally rests in the north quarter, so things are a bit inverted. And when things, you know, show up as an inverted relationship, it can be interpreted, it can be, you know what I'm saying, it can be described as, you know, just an emotional time, or just you know what I'm saying, a time where you're pushed to, you know, pushed to your limit, and kind of, you know, forced to, you know, draw out of yourself and draw that vital essence within you to, you know what I'm saying, to, you know, help, you know, utilize whatever situation you're in. So this full moon cycle, you know what I'm saying, it's definitely, you know what I'm saying, a time to beware and to watch, you know what I'm saying, you know, your temper, and, you know, how you're feeling, and your emotions, and things of that nature, you know what I'm saying, because we're, you know, kind of, you know, we entered Gemini season in a waning moon, I believe. So, you know what I'm saying, we were, you know, in the habit of, you know, looking out, and we were in the habit of, you know, receiving energy. And now that, you know what I'm saying, we have, you know, we've received the energy, and now that we're at that peak, you know what I'm saying, it's kind of showing us, you know what I'm saying, our development through this time. So if you feel like, you know, you've been emotionally tested throughout this lunar phase, or if you feel like, you know, your production hasn't been to, you know, your standard, to your satisfaction, you know what I mean, it's all because of, you know, the energy of this lunar phase. And we still have those planets in retrograde, like the moon is accompanied by Jupiter, which is also in retrograde. So that whole career aspect and that whole business venture is, you know, definitely a key, you know, a key point to this lunar cycle, because, you know, with Jupiter in retrograde, you know, things are definitely, you know, and retrograde doesn't have to be negative. Retrograde can, you know, also be interpreted for positive, you know what I'm saying, like all things can be, you know what I'm saying, used for, you know, bad or good, you know, negative, or, you know, or the positive in things. You just have to be willing to see it. So with, you know, with a positive, you know what I'm saying, interpretation on retrograde, it could be that, you know what I'm saying, you could easily, you know, harness that energy of whatever planet's in retrograde. So, you know, in this instance, Jupiter. So you can easily, you know what I'm saying, influence, you know, your career aspect, or you can, you know, kind of take on that energy and, you know, really use it to, you know, apply it, and really use it to, you know, propel you to, you know, whatever intended desire. So with all that, You know what I mean? Full moons are definitely just, you know, that moment, you know, to acknowledge, and definitely that moment to, you know, decide in, you know, what is best for you, you know what I mean? And what's best, you know, for, you know, everyone around you. So we are in Sagittarius for this full moon. Yeah, Sagittarius, and then on the 18th, which may be the last day of the full moon, we lead into Capricorn. But you know, Mercury's still in Cancer, you know, Venus is in Gemini, Mars is in, I'm sorry, Mercury is in Cancer. Yes, Mercury is in Cancer too, I'm sorry. Mars is in Cancer, Jupiter in Sagittarius retrograde, Saturn retrograde in Capricorn, Uranus in Taurus, Neptune in Pisces, and Pluto in Capricorn also retrograde. So with these planets, you know what I mean, Mercury is in Cancer, so you're definitely communicating your emotions, and you're definitely, you know, freely, you know, expressing, you know, how you feel, and it kind of you know, leads you to that, you know, to that intuitive side, to where you kind of, you know, see a bit of, you know what I'm saying, the truth in things. And you know what I'm saying, it's just allowing you to, you know what I'm saying, to pick up on all those, you know, little fundamental ideas that, you know, that you may miss. And Venus in Gemini is kind of you know, really just you know, you're kind of playing the big game, you know, with your heart kind of thing, you know what I mean? Because Geminis are a bit, you know, plotting, they're a bit, you know what I'm saying, they're a bit, what's the word? I don't want to say methodical, or they're a bit, you know, meditated. You know, everything they do has a, you know, a method and a reason behind it. So, with the Venus and Gemini, you know what I'm saying, you're kind of you know what I'm saying, playing that, you know, maybe playing the field, or you know what I'm saying, you may be you know, interested in a few people, and you know, you may be, you know, exploring those ventures. You know, you may not be investing so much of your, you know, your energy into one, you know, one person, one outlet. So also Mars is in Cancer, which also brings up that emotional, you know what I'm saying, that emotional you know, element I was talking about. Because you know, with that, you know, fireish fighting spirit in Cancer, you know what I'm saying, it can really you know, really push and, you know, elaborate your, you know, your emotions, and really, you know, pushing you to, you know, maybe act out, or maybe act on your emotions, you know, positively or, you know, negatively. So you know, you gotta be you know, you gotta be careful of that, and also, you know, be careful, you know, of your temper, and you know, be mindful of your triggers. And you know, Jupiter in retrograde in Sagittarius, you know, that that allows us to, you know, to maybe still access, you know, that you know, that fire-ish energy, and you know, and then apply it to our career and our business, and you know what I'm saying, whatever you know, career ventures we're doing at the moment. You know, that allows us to, you know, harness in that energy, and kind of take that energy in while it's in retrograde. Because, you know what I'm saying, like I said, retrograde doesn't have to be negative. It can also, you know, be interpreted, you know, as positive. But you know, if it's negative, you know, so if it's, you know, coming up negative for you, it could also mean that, you know, you're not, you know, having that, you're not, you know, productive as you might like, you know, as you might like to be. Saturn also in retrograde in Capricorn can kind of you know what I'm saying, establish your you know, your work habits, and you know what I'm saying, your teachings, and things of that nature. Uranus and Taurus, Uranus is kind of like an individualistic you know, an individualistic representation, and Taurus is kind of like you know what I'm saying, that you know, that kind of I don't want to say a loner sign, but it's a bit, you know what I'm saying, it's a bit, you know, reclusive, and they kind of tend to, you know, idolize themselves and put themselves, you know, over, you know, over others, and they, you know, really prioritize, you know, themselves as a whole and what they need. So with Uranus and Taurus, you know what I'm saying, you're definitely just, you know, definitely just reveling in that lone wolf, you know, energy, and definitely just, you know, seeing through whatever it is your, you know, to whatever your personal needs are, and to whatever it is that, you know, saying you need to, you know, seek fulfillment. Neptune and Pisces, Neptune in Pisces, you know, aligns you with you know what I'm saying, with your heart's intentions. You know what I'm saying? Neptune is kind of like that element of like, you know, your dreams and your imagination and your hopes and your wishes kind of thing. So with Neptune in Pisces, you're really seeking to, you know, feel that fulfillment of, you know, being loved and, you know, loved by others. And with Neptune in Pisces, you're kind of just, you know, in that hopeful and wishful state. So it's really easy to mix up the, you know, saying the energy of this lunar phase, you know what I mean? And I'm sorry, also Pluto in Capricorn, which is also in retrograde, is you know, kind of, you know, best to you know, it's kind of, you know, hindering your, you know, the production and the, you know what I'm saying, the grand development of it all. But with the energy of this lunar phase, you know what I'm saying, it's definitely easy to, you know what I'm saying, to, you know, teeter between that line, and, you know, definitely easy to, you know, allow things to, you know, be taken out of context and allow things to be, you know what I'm saying, to be interpreted, you know, negatively. So with this lunar phase, and while we're going through this waning moon, you definitely want to just, you know, stay mindful. You know what I'm saying, that sun is still in Gemini, so you definitely want to, you know, still utilize, you know, those mental parameters that I spoke on in the last videos. You definitely want to, you know, keep yourself actively productive. You know, you want to stay in a position where you're exercising, you know, and you're not harboring, you know, negativity. You know what I mean? You want to stay on the up and up. You want to stay moving. You want to stay, you know, fluent. You know, you don't want to be so stuck and complacent in whatever it is that you're feeling. So with this whole, you know, full moon in Sagittarius, it's really just that time to, you know, draw out of yourself and bring that essence of who you are to the forefront. You know what I mean? It's definitely a time to, you know, utilize everything that, you know, you have and everything that you are to become, you know, better or to improve. So with this full moon, you know what I mean, you want to, you know, you want to acknowledge and you want to accept that, you know what I'm saying, because this time, you know, it's a bit, you know, it's a bit of a dicey time for you to make, you know, big decisions or to make big choices that can, you know, choices that can either help your future decisions or, you know, affect them, you know, negatively. So you want to, you know, stay in that, you know, you want to stay aligned with the positivity, you know what I mean? You want to align yourself with, you know, with the motion and production to keep moving forward, to keep, you know, accessing, you know, who you are and to keep bettering yourself. So in this lunar phase, you know what I mean, it's definitely a good time to really just make it happen, and, you know, and then, you know, just let it be, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be so stressed, and it doesn't have to be so, you know, choreographed. It can be, you know, just let it happen, you know what I'm saying? Let the true self you are, you know what I'm saying, just let that up, and, you know, don't, you know what I'm saying, don't hold back, don't, you know what I'm saying, put any restraints on yourself, you know, accept and, you know, acknowledge what it is that you need and who it is that you are, you know, and accepting that, you'll find out what it is that, you know, you need to thrive and survive. So it's definitely, you know, a good time to prepare for this waning phase, because once we're in this waning phase, we'll actually be leaving out of Gemini soon. It's towards the end of Gemini. You know, Gemini is over around the 21st of, you know what I'm saying, of, you know, the next month after, you know, we begin or whatever. So we'll be into Cancer season. So, you know, Cancers are all about, you know what I'm saying, the intuitive and you know, and the emotional and the, you know, and the, you know, and the social charm of, you know, of things. So we'll be into a bit more personal and, you know, a bit more, you know, a bit more influencing matters, you know what I'm saying? So it'll be a different, you know, a different vibe and a different energy. So everybody be aware for this full moon. It's beautiful. I was looking at it last night. I love it when you can see that ring around the moon, you know what I'm saying? And that ring is kind of just you know, just a message, you know what I'm saying? A projected message of, you know, things to come, or, you know what I'm saying, because the allure is bright, you know what I'm saying. The moon is, you know, very alluring. When you look at it, you're kind of mesmerized, and there's a lot of folklore on, you know, people like staring up at the moon and then, you know what I'm saying, losing their heads kind of thing, because the moon is very drawing, and it's very, you know, it has a big sense of, you know, repulsion, or one of those words, you know what I'm saying. It's just big on, you know, saying, drawing that essence out of you. So in this full moon, definitely utilize all your you know what I'm saying, all your efforts. Definitely utilize everything that you have in the works, everything you have in the making to, you know, improve and, you know, make things better. So everybody, once again, this has been Christian Davis for Subscription Center for the full moon interpretation in Sagittarius. Everybody, Unique Divination will be starring as a guest star. Everybody, she'll be coming up next with her tarot card interpretation. Everybody, I love it. You know what I'm saying, Unique Divination is definitely you know what I'm saying, a sister, you know, participator in the community. I definitely appreciate her works, and I definitely, you know, value the wisdom that she'll, you know, convey in her messages and through her tarot cards. So everybody, listen up. And once again, thank you for this Christian Davis for Subscription Center. And next up, Unique Divination for her tarot card interpretation on the full moon. Everybody, thank you.
Hey, what's good, Urban Mystics? It's Unique Divination, and you're watching Urban Mystic TV and the Subscription Center. Thank you so much, Christian, for introducing me. This is a collab, y'all. This is a smash up. I hope that you find Christian's information interesting. He's into astrology. Be sure to check out his YouTube channel and his Instagram page, right? So my part, you know, I'm going to do the tarot. We're going to do a little bit of goddess guidance, and we're going to do some crystal healing. So let me get out my tarot cards, right? So while I'm shuffling, I just wanted to break down what the full moon in Sag meant for me. Sagittarius deals with transformation. It deals with change. So, of course, the full moon, which is very powerful, you know, it embodies that transformative energy that we need to get stuff going. So if you need, you know, extra pep in your step, some extra, you know, extra booster, draw on the energy of the full moon and the Sag to kind of get things going for that transformation and that paradigm shift that you need in your life, right? Of course, my cards are everywhere. You don't want to. So the guidance for a full moon in Sag, I've got 10 of Swords reversed, right? Upright, it's the Lord of Ruin. So, and we've got Gemini on here, right? Reversed, this means that, you know, the ruin is over. So for those of us who have been having trouble in business, right? Business, communication with people. Maybe you've been, you know, constantly going back and forth with people in your life, arguing, really not seeing eye to eye. Somebody's was not using logic and reasoning. Maybe it was you, or maybe you were trying to get somebody to see that they weren't using logic and reasoning. So that point in our life is over. That situation has come to an end. I don't know if amends are going to be made, but either you or the person that, you know, the argument was with have finally started looking at things from a logical standpoint. If this is you and you got into an argument with somebody because you necessarily didn't agree with their perspective, just take a step back and look, because you may be missing the major point. And I think that they brought something up that really hit home, and you just did not want to deal with it. You were living in fantasy. So in order to get up out of the funk that we're in order for things to start manifesting for us, we need to stop looking at things from a fantasy or an idealistic perspective. Look at things for face value, for what they are. It is what it is, right? That's what the energy of Gemini stands for, which is on this card. Looking at things logically, with reasoning, and doing things practically, right? That means that taking the most simplistic approach to things, not trying to overdo things, just do what you need to do. You know, you don't have to go above and beyond, and it doesn't really equate with what you're doing. Keep things practical, keep things simple. and just work on development, right? As far as your interactions with people, just work on the quality of your interactions and how you communicate with people. So like I said, if there was some type of argument, if you were having situations at work, or just not really getting along with people, not seeing eye to eye. And like I said, it was either you or somebody else that really didn't want to look at things from a logical standpoint. So underneath the full moon in Sagittarius, which represents transformation, if you want things to move forward in your life, if you want manifestation, if you want growth, if you want development, you have to look at things for what they are and deal with and work with what you got. You can't work with what you don't have. You have to work with what you have. And if you learn how to work with what you have, you'll get more, right? All right. So, of course, we're going to do some crystal healing. All right. We're going to do some crystal healing. And of course, I had one fly out at me. Smoky Quartz Celestial. All right, so let's see what this card is about. Let's see what it's about. Transmutational magic. Transmutational magic. A stone for karmic healing. Smoky Quartz Celestial opens into different dimensions and brings powerful transformation. Y'all know when I get to pulling my cards how everything flow, right? So not only are we in full moon and transformation, but we pulled the Smoky Quartz Celestial, which represents, right, transmutational magic and transformation. So you have a powerful survival instinct and ability to go where others dare not. Transmutate the past. Realize that darkness is not evil. Facing your deepest fears turns these into golden gifts. You know that death is only a transformation into another state of being. Take responsibility for your life. Don't let others take control, right? Don't let others take control. Transformation, full moon and Sag. Let's get it. Be patient. Much stirs beneath the calm surface. Total transformation is close. It may entail a trip into the underworld. Your shadow becomes your brightest gift. Toxic emotions turn to positive regard. Ground your efforts in the everyday, but retain contact with higher realms. Success comes through dedication and trusting your abilities. Mentors are available. Release yourself from old enchantments. All right, this card goes on to say that no part of you is evil or bad. Embracing your shadow leads you to healing hidden in the darkest reaches of yourself. Okay, this is an exceptionally high frequency card. The chakras that it works with are Earth Star, Base, Sacral, Soul Star, and Stellar Gateway. Timing is Scorpio and Capricorn, and this soul path is total transmutation, okay? So, full moon in Sagittarius represents transformation, right? Smoky Quartz Celestial represents karmic healing and dealing with powerful transmutation and transformation, right? And so the next card I'm going to get into is a Goddess Guidance card. Irene, okay? Irene represents peace. Let me see what kind of, what goddess she represents. So Irene, she is a Greek goddess whose sisters include the goddesses of lawfulness and justice. Irene brings peacefulness to all who call upon her. The Romans refer to her as Pax, which means peace. Irene helps us replace worry with faith. She also reminds us to retain our childlike awe and enthusiasm for life, right? Stop worrying. She tells us to give our cares and our worries to heaven. Pray, meditate, engage in peace-enhancing activities such as yoga, sea salt baths, massage, naps, music, playfulness, and the like. There's no need to worry, as everything is working out beautifully. Okay, so we're under full moon in Sag, which represents transformation, right? I pulled the crystal Smoky Quartz Celestial, which confirms the transformation is taking place, and it's on a deep soul level. Gemini also kind of represents the twins, duality, right? And so your sun self and your shadow self is represented in this area. And the Smoky Quartz Celestial talked about healing and integrating your shadow. Okay, you can't get better running from your shadow self, right? We have to address the things that we don't like about ourselves, the negative habits and stuff that we have, in order to move forward and transmutate into our most higher self. We have to integrate the shadow side with the sun side, right? It's not easy. It's hard. Nothing that I'm talking about here is going to be easy, right? I never tell you guys that, right? Because it takes a lot of work to transmutate energy, right? Especially negative energy if you don't know how to do it. So Irene represents peace, okay? There's been so much going on. Lord of Ruin, arguments, just miscommunication with people, bad business is going on. All right, and so in order to embrace and to accept that transformation that's trying to take place in your life, you have to release and let go, and you have to be at peace, and you have to know that things are going to work out. And so if you're like me, my mind is going 24/7 all of the time. I just have one of those minds where I'm constantly thinking and just creating and thinking. And so my mind doesn't rest, and I have to force it to, right? And so she mentioned, Irene deals with, mentioned yoga, massages, spiritual baths, right? These are things that you're going to have to implement. Taking the time, you know, and going somewhere where it's peaceful. I always like to recommend listening to like white noise, like water, lake, rains, if you can't get to an actual body of water. Water is very peaceful, so if you can meditate with that, then I would definitely do that. Get yourself some spiritual detox, which is available in my shop, uniquedivination.com/shop, which will be all in the description link below. So yeah, I have some amazing products that help with anxiety, that help with mental anguish and stress and just unwinding, right? Sometimes we need things to help kick those things off. So make sure you invest in those things. Like I said, if you check my shop out, you're going to find a lot of things to help you with relaxing, calming, and winding down. Okay. So we got a lot going on for full moon in Sagittarius, right? Definitely, take everything that was given to you as a tool and a resource in order to work under the full moon, right? Christian is very knowledgeable in what he does, and of course, y'all know me, y'all know what I do. Y'all always tell me I do great things with the tarot and the messages I give y'all. So thank you so much for listening. I hope you like this full moon and Sagittarius mashup. We will be doing more together, okay? It was supposed to be a live video. Unfortunately, we weren't able to do that this time, but we still provided you guys with the resources that you needed to help get through this full moon, okay? So until next time. Oh, also, don't forget, text Mystic to 31996 if you want to get free goodies, y'all. You'll get all types of notifications for all types of free stuff. So those of you that hit me up looking for free readings and how to do stuff, you'll get notifications when I go live for free readings and when I'm giving out free workshops, okay? And also, please check out Christian. His link will be in the bio. Like, share, and subscribe. Comment if you must, but please look out for us, right? And give us some love. So until next full moon, I will talk to you later. Okay, bye-bye.